Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. In previous lecture, we start practice set 5.1. We will continue practice set 5.1 from question number 4. Question number 4 is ratio of adjacent angle is given to you and you have to find the measure of angles, all angles of a parallelogram. We have discussed adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary, okay, but here the adjacent angles are in ratio. To separate from ratio, we have to take one common multiple. So let the two adjacent angles of a parallelogram be x and 2x, okay. So it's x and 2x. You can give the name this angle as A and this angle as B. So angle A is 1x, angle B is 2x, okay. And they are the adjacent angle, and we know that the adjacent angle of parallelogram are supplementary. That means their sum is 180, okay. So let's start the solution. Solution. Ratio of adjacent angles of parallelogram is equal to 1:2. Let me suppose as angle A is to angle B is equal to 1:2. We give the name. We suppose these two angle is angle A and angle B. Okay. Now to separate from ratio, we have to take common multiple. So angle A is 1x, that means x, and angle B is 2x. Okay. So to separate from ratio, we have to take one common multiple. So I take here angle. I take here x as a common multiple. So angle A is 1x and angle B is 2x. Okay. Now start. Adjacent angles of parallelogram are supplementary. Supplementary, that means their sum is 180. So therefore angle A plus angle B is equal to 180. Okay. Now substitute the values here. Angle A is x and angle B is 2x is equal to 180. Okay. So x plus 2x is 3x is equal to 180. So x is equal to 180 divided by 3. X is equal to 3 6 18 60. Okay. So x is equal to 60. So therefore angle A is equal to x degree, that means 60 degree. Angle B is equal to 2x degree, that means 2 multiplied by 60 is equal to 120 degree. Okay. They are the adjacent angle, and we know that the opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So one angle is 60, then opposite angle is also 60. Here one angle is 20, then its opposite angle is also 120. So therefore the angles of parallelogram are 60 degree, 120 degree, 60 degree, 120 degree. Got it? Opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So they are the adjacent angles. So angle opposite to 60 is always again 60, and angle opposite to 120 is again 120 degree. Okay. Now once again see here. The given is ratio of measure of adjacent angle of parallelogram. The ratio of adjacent angle of this parallelogram is 1:2. That means adjacent angle is given here in ratio. And you have to find measure of all the four angles of this parallelogram. Okay. So let's start. Ratio of adjacent angle of parallelogram is 1:2. Give them name. I suppose this angle as angle A is to angle B is 1:2. Now separate this angle from ratio, then take a common multiple. By taking a common multiple, I separate this angle. So angle A is equal to 1x, that means x, and angle B is equal to 2x. Now these angles are the adjacent angle, and we know that the adjacent angles are supplementary. So angle A plus angle B is equal to 180. Angle A plus angle B is equal to 180. Substitute the value x plus 2x is equal to 180. So 3x is equal to 180. X is equal to 180 divided by 3. So x is equal to 60. Okay. Now then you get angle A is nothing but the x degree, 60 degree. Angle B is 2x degree. That means 2 multiplied by 60, 120 degree. A and B are adjacent angle. So angle opposite to A is also 60 degree and angle opposite to B also 120 degree, because opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So angles of parallelogram are 60 degree, 120 degree, 60 degree, 120 degree. Got it? Okay. This was question number 4. Now move to the question number 5. Question number 5 is quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. This quadrilateral is a parallelogram and diagonals intersect at point O. Here this quadrilateral, the diagonals are intersect at point O. AO is given to you 5, BO is given to you 12 and AB is given to you 13, and you have to prove this quadrilateral is a rhombus. Okay. Given is this quadrilateral is a parallelogram and you have to prove that this quadrilateral is a rhombus. If you observe, this question is only about the diagonal. Okay. Now focus the properties of diagonal in parallelogram and in rhombus. In a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other, but in rhombus, diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other. Okay. As this quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then diagonals bisect each other. But you have to prove this quadrilateral is a rhombus. For rhombus, the diagonals should be perpendicular bisect each other. That means if you prove diagonals are perpendicular each other, that means this angle is 90 degree, then you can say that this parallelogram is a rhombus if diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other. See here once again, the given is this quadrilateral is a parallelogram. And the question is about only the diagonals. So now observe the property of diagonals in both parallelogram and rhombus. In parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. Okay, just they bisect each other, intersect each other. But for rhombus, diagonals perpendicular bisect each other. That means they intersect each other at 90 degree. Okay. So if you prove these diagonals are perpendicular to each other, then you can prove this parallelogram is a rhombus. Okay. So you have to prove this angle is 90 degree. So to prove this angle is 90 degree, you can prove this. You can suppose you have to prove this angle is 90 degree. Now remember the exercise 2.1, in that we prove Pythagorean triplet. So in this triangle, the greater side is 13. So if the greater side square is equal to sum of square of other two sides, then the angle is 90 degree. Yes, the angle opposite to the hypotenuse is 90 degree. In practice set 2.1, we discussed about the Pythagorean triplet to prove an angle is 90 degree. So here the greater side is 13 in this triangle AOB. Greater side is 13, so 13 square. Now the square of remaining two sides. If these sides are equal, by converse of Pythagoras theorem, this angle is 90 degree. If this angle is 90 degree, that means diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other, so that this quadrilateral is a rhombus. Okay. So let's start the solution. Solution. Okay. AB is equal to 13. OB is equal to 12. OA is equal to 5 given. Okay. Now let's start in triangle AOB. AOB, greater side AB square. AB square, that means 13 square is 169. Okay. Now find the square, sum and square of remaining two sides, that means OB square plus OA square. Okay. 12 square plus 5 square. 12 square 144, 5 square is 25. Okay. That means 5, 4, 9, 4, 2, 6, 169. Okay. So therefore AB square is equal to OB square plus OA square. Okay. So therefore angle AOB is 90 degree. Okay. By converse of Pythagoras theorem. By converse of Pythagoras theorem, this angle is 90 degree as the greater side square is equal to the sum of the square of remaining two sides. Okay, so therefore OA is perpendicular AC, diagonal AC perpendicular to diagonal BD. Okay, so therefore quadrilateral ABCD is a rhombus as diagonals are perpendicular bisects each other. Okay, as these diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other, so this quadrilateral is a rhombus. Okay, so again see here, given is this quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and in this parallelogram diagonals bisect each other. Here OA is 5, OB is 12 and AB is 13, and you have to prove this quadrilateral is a rhombus. Okay, so we have observed the given is parallelogram and you have to prove the quadrilateral is a rhombus, and the question is only about the diagonal. Then we have to focus the properties of diagonals in parallelogram and in rhombus. In parallelogram, diagonals just bisect each other, but in rhombus, diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other. That means intersect at 90 degree. Okay. So that means we have to prove here the diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other. So we focus on this triangle. In this triangle, the greater side is 13. So greater side assume as hypotenuse and find the square. Now find the square and sum of remaining two sides. If these two are equal, then by the converse of Pythagoras theorem, the angle at O is 90 degree. So that means diagonals perpendicular to each other. So diagonals are perpendicular bisect each other. So therefore, this quadrilateral is a rhombus. Got it? Next is question number 6. Question number 6 is quadrilateral PQRS and quadrilateral ABCR are two parallelograms. You can see in the figure, these are two parallelogram. One is A PQR and second is PBCR. These two are the parallelogram. And angle P is 110 degree. Then you have to find all the angles of quadrilateral ABCR. Okay. So first of all, let's start with quadrilateral PQR. The quadrilateral PQR is a parallelogram. So you know that the opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So therefore angle P is congruent to angle R. So as angle P is 110 degree, then angle R is also 110 degree. Okay. Now in quadrilateral ABCR, if angle R is 110 degree, then angle B is also 110 degree, as opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So here you get angle B 110 degree, opposite angles of parallelogram. Now see angle A and B. Angle A and B in quadrilateral ABCR are the adjacent angles, and you know that the adjacent angles of parallelogram are supplementary. That means their sum is 180. So angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 adjacent angles of parallelogram. Now substitute the value of angle B 110, then you get angle A 180 minus 110 70 degree. Okay. Now you know that the opposite angles of this parallelogram, that means PBCR, are congruent. So therefore angle ABCR is congruent. So angle A is congruent to angle C. So as angle A 70 degree, angle C is also 70 degree. And angle B is congruent to angle R. If B 110 degrees and then R is also 110 degree. So your answer, angles of quadrilateral ABCR are 110 degree, 70 degree, 110 degree and 70 degree. Okay. Last question of this exercise, that is question number 7. Quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. This quadrilateral is a parallelogram and point E lies on the ray AB. If you extend AB, then point E lies on this ray such that AB is equal to BE. Then you have to prove that line ED bisects segment BC. This line intersects this segment at point F. That means you have to prove BF is equal to CF. Okay. So let's start your solution. Okay. So first of all, this quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Then you know that the opposite sides of parallelogram are parallel. Quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. This quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and you know that the opposite sides of parallelogram are parallel. So therefore, AB is parallel to CD. Okay, AB is parallel to CD. Opposite side of parallelogram. Okay, AB is also parallel to CD. Then A point E lies on this same line. So that means AE. You can say that AE is also parallel to CD. Okay, AE is also parallel to CD because this point A, B, E lies on same line. Okay, give it number 1. Now AB is congruent to CD, opposite side of parallelogram. Opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent, and AB is equal to BE is given. It's given here. So if AB is equal to BE, that means BE is also congruent to CD. So therefore, BE is congruent to CD. Okay. Give it number 2. Got it? See here, first of all, these two lines are parallel. If these two lines are parallel, so this point is also lie on the same line. So that means these two lines are also parallel. Now, AB is congruent to CD and AB is equal to BE. That means BE is also congruent to CD. Got it? Now focus on these two triangles. If you prove these two triangles are congruent, then you can prove BF is equal to CF. If you prove BF is equal to CF, that means BE bisect this side. Now focus in triangle BFE and triangle CFD. Okay. First, BE side, yeah, you can say that, or you can say that segment BE is congruent to segment CD. Okay, it's from 2. Okay, and angle, this angle EDF and FC, these angles are alternate angles. So alternate, and these two lines are parallel. So these two are the alternate angles, and alternate angles are congruent. Okay. Now angle EBF is congruent to angle CFD. Right here. Why these alternate angles? Alternate angles. Okay. Now alternate angles. These two are the alternate angle. These two segments are equal, and these two are the vertically opposite angle. Angle BFE is congruent to angle CFD. Congruent to angle CFD. Vertically opposite angles. So you can write opposite angles. Opposite angles. Okay. So therefore, triangle BFE is congruent to the triangle CFD. Now the test is congruent to the triangle CFD. Angle side. Which test is ASA test? By AAS test, or you can say that ASA test. Okay. So therefore, segment BF is equal to CF. Segment BF is equal to CF, corresponding sides of congruent triangle. Okay. Now write final answer. So therefore, line ED bisects segment BC at point F. After this line, write this line. Okay. Once again, see here. Now the given is this quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and you know that the opposite sides of parallelogram are equal and parallel. So therefore AB is parallel to CD. If AB is parallel to CD, that means AE is also parallel to CD because this point E lies on same line. Got it? Now AB is congruent to CD, opposite sides of parallelogram, and AB is equal to BE, that means BE is also congruent to CD. Got it? Now focus on these two triangles because we have to prove BF is equal to CA. If you focus in these two triangles, the first is BE is equal to CD. Okay, we prove in second BE is equal to CD. Now these are the vertically opposite angle, and vertically opposite angles are congruent. And these two are the alternate angle. As we proved, these two lines are parallel. So these two are the alternate angles. and alternate angles are congruent. So therefore, by AAS test, or you can say that SAS test, these two triangles are congruent. If these two triangles are congruent, then BF is equal to CF, corresponding sides of congruent triangle. So therefore, write the final answer. Therefore, line ED bisects segment BC at point F. Got it? Clear? Okay. So today we complete practice set 5.1. Practice all the questions of 5.1 and solve in fair notebook. If you have any doubt, then ask me. Inshallah, in next lecture we will start practice set 5.2. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah.